Check, check, check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, and 4. D-Mac, you getting this? Alyssa? Wireless 1, wireless 1. Wireless mic 1. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wireless 1. Wireless 2. Wireless 2. Wireless mic 2. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wireless 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Wireless 2. Check, check, check. Wireless 2. Mic check. 1, 2.
Bring your side down more. Pull it down so it's like, yeah, a little more side. Pull it your way. That'll work. Good job.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. Appreciate all your time and getting here. And it's great to see the sunshine again. We're going to start off with quarterback Perry Orth. So questions, please raise your hands. David.
Perry of Florida's got a pretty good pass rush. How do you guys think you can handle that, and what will you do to try to limit that?
Very similar to what we've been doing the past 2 weeks. Both Tennessee and Texas A&M have very good pass rushes and, different zone read schemes, screens, different things that keep them off balance, running backs chipping them out of the backfield just to kind of slow them down. But, yeah, they got a very, very good defense.
Brian.
How much does it put a pep in y'all's step knowing these next 3 games are finally at home?
Yeah, it's very nice to finally come back home, play here, and you make a good play on offense and, defense to hear the crowd cheer you instead of, it be quiet. It's kind of strange, but, it'll be nice. I love playing here. We got, the best fans in college football, in my opinion, and, it'd be fun to, play Florida here.
To the left.
What have you seen from Connor Mitch just kind of coming back, and what kind of a personality is he right now in the quarterback room?
Connor's been awesome. He prepares just like, he was playing before. He's been there on the sideline cheering me on, and, if his number's called, he'll be ready to go. But, yeah, he's been good.
To the left, Josh.
Perry, how much attention have you paid to the situation at Missouri, and what are your thoughts on that?
I don't have any idea. I just know that the players were striking that because the president didn't do something. I honestly have no idea.
What was your initial reaction to hear about a college football players striking?
Yeah, I guess they were passionate about what was going on. So, if they felt that that was needed, then, yeah, I guess they made the right decision. I really just have no idea on what's happening.
David.
Perry, whether it's you, whether it's Lorenzo, whether it's Connor, when you're a quarterback and you've started for a little bit and then you're not starting anymore, y'all have all been through it. How tough is it to maintain a positive outlook and not get a little bitter over the fact that you're not starting anymore once you've already reached that level?
Yeah, I wouldn't say bitter. Just, it is tough because you want to be out there helping your team win. But, it just comes with you just got to understand where you're at just to help the team, whatever your role may be, whether it's backing up or starting or, giving pointers on the sideline, different things. It's just you just got to understand that whatever helps the team is what you gotta do.
To the left, Pete.
Perry, I realize coming close only goes so far, but I mean, is there a different vibe among the offense and on the team now than maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago, when maybe the offense was struggling a little bit more than it is now?
Definitely, there's a more positive vibe, throughout the entire team. I mean, we've played two very close ball games on the road against two very good teams, and for a while there, both games we had a chance to win. But yeah, the confidence of the team is pretty high right now, and we're expecting to go out and play Saturday and get a victory.
David.
Perry Sean said he was going to open up the offense, and he's done that the past couple of weeks. But what percentage of the full offensive playbook do you guys think that you've run these past 2 weeks?
Yeah, we've run pretty much all of it. Different, we put in a few different things as well, but I've been here for, this is my third season. I know what plays we still got running the same plays that we did when Coach Spurrier was here with a little bit different wrinkles here and there. But, yeah, I'm comfortable with everything that we've run, and I think that's helped us as, I've gained more experience by playing in different, environments like that. It's been helpful for our offense to, not try to hold anything back.
In the back, Dwayne.
Perry, the quarterback huddle that you guys do before the game looks like you may be camping out or something like that. What exactly is going on there? What's the history of that?
Just something that we started doing, I think, 2 years ago. Dylan came up with it, just like a little ritual that the quarterbacks do. We're opening the top off the football and sprinkling the seeds, getting ready for a big game. That's pretty much it. Just something funny we do.
Any other questions for Perry? Thank you, Perry.
Sir.
We'll continue in the next few minutes. Jonathan Walton will be the next player. We'll continue. Next up is Jonathan Walton, linebacker, fullback, multi-dimensional. Questions for Jonathan? David.
John, where do they have you listed this week?
They have me listed as center linebacker this week. I guess a little bit of fullback also.
To the left, Ben.
How early in last week did they come to you and talk about running back, and what was that sort of process like?
I got a text Monday to see coach after team meetings and see the running back coach. So I mean that was a shock. Then from that week on we installed the package.
David.
John, how much running back did you play in high school? And sort of take us through, what that experience was like for you.
I played running back all through middle school. High school, I played mostly linebacker, but when needed for short yardage or something like that, I played running back through high school.
Post any big numbers or anything like that? Rushing the ball, do you remember?
I averaged 10 yards a carry. Yeah.
Back to Ben.
Was run blocking something that comes natural to you? Is it something you were kind of used to doing, or did it take a little bit to kind of get a feel for it?
Well, I always felt if I'm running the ball, I want the guy in front of me to block. So, I mean, if I'm in front of the guy running the ball, I'm going to block. So it just always came natural.
Brian.
It's obviously always nice to play at home, but with having so many road games and then coming back, how special is it for you guys just to finally be back at Williams-Brice?
It's just a great feeling. I mean, nothing like home. We've been on the road a minute, so we just happy to be back and put on a new show. We feel like we get some fire to start from this.
To the left, Josh.
How much attention did you pay to what went on at Missouri this weekend, and what was your reaction?
Not too much attention. I mean, I don't have an opinion on that. I haven't been keeping up with it too much.
You didn't have a gut reaction to the idea of a football strike? Football players striking or something?
Not really.
Ben and then David again.
How often after you started, you talk with the running back coach, did you get the sense that you might be, slipping out in pass patterns, and outside of the touchdown, did you slip out in any other ones? I think there was one where it seemed like you maybe looked back for a pass or something like that.
Yeah, he had an option there. So, I mean, it just didn't work out the first time, but I knew if the second time it was going to work out, I was going to make the best of it.
David?
So, John, what's it been like dealing with your defensive teammates this year? Are they giving you grief? Are they envious? Or just, what's that been like?
They call me a hybrid. They think because we have a little offensive defensive things going on. We argue, fight over, but they call me a hybrid trader. I get that every now and then.
And Coach kind of indicated to us the other day that there are other defensive players who might be willing to play some kind of role on offense. I mean, are your teammates kind of raising hands and willing to do something too, or what's your feel on that?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, we have a lot of athletes on the team, so a lot of the defensive guys have played offense in high school. So I figure if they definitely want a shot, they'll probably talk to them.
Over here to the right, to Wes.
John, how much have you kind of enjoyed that? And didn't Auburn recruit you a little bit, H-back, offensive guy? So was that kind of a decision out of high school of whether you wanted to play defense or offense at the time, I guess?
For sure. I mean, they wanted me as an H-back. I knew for sure I wanted to play linebacker. So I ended up coming here. And, I mean, I'm sitting second string right now at linebacker, so I was like, why not try something on offense? And, I mean, it just worked out for me.
Back to the left, Ben.
Was that kind of a good feeling? Being it seems like your linebacker snaps have decreased a little bit, but to be able to get snaps elsewhere just to kind of make up for it almost.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely adds more excitement also.
Any other questions for Jonathan? Thank you, Jonathan.
I never figured out that whole song, but what they say, it's like so that's the way it was with the song. Everybody was singing, so let it go.
Well, they'll probably get some bad
When the Seahawks turned him into 100-pound dog meat this weekend. They're terrible, but it's a small. In the last game at San Francisco, this one's at Seattle. I believe it's not positive. It was short. It's gonna be. Yeah, I guess so. I think it's 7 straight. It's one of those. Should have been burning for years. It's just playing regular. There was way too much like over the last 2-3 days. Such a fun word. Such a horrible dream. Actually, so this is Jim Tom Sula looks like the guy that you go on first dates with a divorce guy. Yeah, he's a nice man. It's just a yes man. They chose somebody who's going to be non-controversial, and they got what they paid for. They're all set. But they do got Cleveland left on the schedule, so maybe yeah, I play Atlanta. But you get both those at home, which okay. I mean, pretty much, you know, remember how they started for last year at 8-8. They get to 8-8 this year. It's a miracle. Especially starting out 2-6. That's right. The Cowboys are all their playoff losing streak. Right. And so to beat them at home, of course, so I'm down on the field with everybody. And I see I walk so and I got to stand afterwards paying attention. But I think which team is and luckily it's
Hey, Dalton, turn on your mic for a second. Just a reminder, if everyone would please check your cell phones before we get started. Thank you.
The only problem they got this time is, the only problem they got this time is the 11,000 season.
Ready?
Okay. Florida Gators. It's going to be a tough week. SEC East champs. Very well coached football team. Great talent. Unbelievable defensive personnel. Got a good offensive mind and their new head coach. And I tell you what a turnaround they've had for a great 2015 season. I mean, they've done a great job, motivating those players to come out and play well. And of course, winning the East. They've got to be feeling really good about themselves, and they're certainly not going to overlook South Carolina. They know they've got to finish strong, and we know what a challenge it's going to be for us to take on their football team this week.
Sean, you mentioned Florida's defense. Just what do you guys try to do to try to limit that pass rush? Is it just adding more guys to the line, or putting a fullback up there, or what? How do you try to limit those guys?
Oh, you don't get in those types of situations, and certainly you're going to get in a few of them. But you've got to not experiment, but you've got to move the pocket. You've got to do some other protections. Your simple drop back 5- and 6-man protection is not going to be good enough against a talented group of guys that come off the football can rush the passer like that. So, we've got to be creative. Texas A&M had a good pass rush, and I thought we had a pretty good plan for those guys. I don't think their two ends were all that destructive, so to speak. I think we gave up 2 there at the end, but it wasn't because of their pass rushing ability at that time. So moving the pocket, play actions, draws, of course, do a lot of good for that stuff. So we'll have a plan, and we'll be able to hopefully not control it, but somewhat handle that great rush.
After Casey Crosby and Jonathan Walton get in on that kind of heavy package you guys use, what is sort of the process you guys as a staff do in terms of looking down the roster and seeing guys that you might want to, I guess, almost pluck up for bigger roles, like maybe those 2 Hayden Hurst, Kyle Markway types?
I mean, as a coach, you evaluate players, whether they're offensive or defensive. I mean, I evaluate our defensive line when I was the line coach, our linebackers, our secondary, and I said, man, he'll be a great fullback, or he'll be a great tight end, or, this guy might be better suited to this position. Early in the year, I think back in the summer, actually all the way back in the spring, Darius English wasn't a big contributor over there on defense. I said, well, put him at tight end. We got a guy over there that's long and lean. He's one of the strongest players on the team. Just because he's not generating a strong play over there at this point doesn't mean we can't utilize him over here on the offensive side. So I think that's what you got to do. You've got to try to take your best players and put them in the best position to go out there and be successful. And, it may be someone different this week. I hope so.
Sean, does it seem like you spent this entire season on the road?
It really does. It's been a tiring season. To come back and finally realize you got 3 home games left starting this week at Florida, you say, wow, what happened earlier in the year? And, playing in Charlotte, and then you had the LSU. It doesn't even seem like we've been here. It's really just been kind of an odd season in that sense. But we're glad to be back at home. So excited. I think in the last couple of weeks we've brought a little bit of excitement back to our fan base. Or so it seems, and I think they're hungry to see us play again. I think they're anxious to see us play in Williams-Brice Stadium against a great Florida football team, and I want those guys to be here and be. I mean, I'd love it to be sold out, and I'd love it to be as loud as can be. It's going to be a beautiful Saturday, and I think we all need it.
Sean, some coaches, Frank Beamer was always known for it, place a big emphasis on blocking punts and blocking place kicks. What's your philosophy with regards to how much you emphasize that type of thing?
Yeah, I think they're all important. In the spread punt these days, the blocking of the punt has become, I won't say non-existent, but a little bit tougher than it has in the past when you normally lined up in the tight formation and had people just line down and rush the football or rush the punter. Now that we're in spread, you can rugby style, you can roll out, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. But there's a strong emphasis on, taking points off the board on a field goal or extra point attempt. when I was the line coach, I used to tell them it's one of the most important plays that you can be on. It's a scoring opportunity play. And I was stressing to us how important the protection was, but in a sense of blocking it can change the game. I mean, a blocked field goal or extra point can take a touchdown momentum, and just the elimination of the extra point can flip it.
Sean, how's the health of the team of Harris, Johnson, Stallworth, and Neal? All got kind of banged up last week.
Yeah, we're getting better. Harris is coming around, DJ's coming around. I don't think Stallworth will be back for us this week. He'll probably be out another week. But all in all, our team is just ready to get back and play. A little bit tired. We've had 3 tough weeks. They've played really, really physical football, I think, at practice and in our 2 games. Actually, we conditioned last night and took a little bit of the practice aspect off of it for those guys, and they were appreciative in that matter. But we've got to come out and have a good week, and I think we'll be right for Saturday.
What was your reaction to what happened at Missouri this weekend and yesterday?
Josh, I haven't given it a whole lot of thought. There's so many things going on here at South Carolina that I've got to focus on, and we've got to focus on. I haven't given it a whole lot of thought. I really, other than what's going on with our football team, I very rarely have time to think about anything else. So I haven't given that much thought at all.
Would what Gary Pinkel did be something you feel like you wanted to address with your team at any point, your players, given the football aspect of that thing?
I don't know enough about it to even comment on it. If I knew the facts and knew some other stuff, it would be easy for me to give a thought. But for me to do that without knowing the facts and everything involved probably is not good.
Sean, so Harris, is it not a separated shoulder then, or is it a separated shoulder? Do you know?
Well, they classified it as a dislocated shoulder at the time. You can go in there and put those things back in fairly quickly, so it's not dislocated any longer.
Now, Taylor, you talked about a chest injury. Is that at all related to the pectoral issue he had in the spring, or is that something different?
Just something different. Yeah, it has nothing to do with that.
And one more, we've asked you a lot about wrinkles the last couple of weeks. I mean, do you have more of those you can pull out of your hat going forward, or how close are you to maximizing what you can get out of this pack?
We've got wrinkles now. It's like a Matlock equipment wash. Our shirts and stuff come out. We've got wrinkles. I mean, it really is. And nothing against Chris Matlock, but we pull out our shirts and there's wrinkles everywhere all the time, and we always laugh. But we love him to death. But yeah, we're just having fun and trying to create some new ideas. And you call it a wrinkle, I call it an idea, but we're just going to go with it and see where it puts us. Our little wrinkle last week put us in a pretty good situation. We probably should have had, we went for it on 4th down the first time in our package with Walton and Crosby in our 3-back set, and it's so many people, when I stop at a gas station or something, they say, "Oh, that 4th down play, what were you thinking running it up the middle?" I said, "Well, it wasn't supposed to go up the middle. It was supposed to go to John Walton for a touchdown right there if we'd have thrown it." But that didn't happen. But our wrinkles worked out pretty well. We got the touchdown call later on to him, and we'll continue to add some stuff.
Kind of playing off Rick's question, and you've called it special before, but when you're explaining Williams-Brice to people that are from this area, what do you say? What makes Williams-Brice so special in your mind?
The people. The Gamecock fans. That's the number one thing. The fan base creates Williams-Brice, and it has ever since I've grown up coming to football games, through thick and thin, wins and losses. The energy and the passion that these fans have for Carolina football and Carolina athletics in general is what sets us apart. And there's a lot of stadiums across the country. I mean, and you don't want to talk about other fan bases, of course, but we've been in some pretty big stadiums the last few weeks, and these Carolina fans, they know how to do it. They know how to do it right. So we're hoping they're going to do it right Saturday.
How much progress have you seen from Connor Mitch just in terms of his comeback, and do you expect he might contribute at some point before the end of the season?
Well, I certainly expect him to contribute. I don't know where it might be. He's coming along. He's coming along. Anytime you sit out for that length of time, I mean, first of all, physically, strength-wise, conditioning-wise, it takes a toll on you. You actually do nothing until that injury actually heals to get back in the swing of things. But we always have a plan for somebody to contribute, and his plan is right there as well. Connor's a fine player. He's a good quarterback, and he's going to be able to lead this football team again. I'm not sure when it might happen, but he'll be ready, and he's kept his head up and done a great job. And we fully expect him, when his number's called, to go out there and do it.
Sean, Josh Dobbs had a lot of success on third and long passing downs last week. Just overall the season, what do you think the biggest issue has been with USC's pass rush?
Well, you look at the guys out there, and sometimes I think we read the offensive play more so than I'm getting around the the right guard or left guard or pressing that 5 technique. You see them the peek in the backfield looking for the quarterback draw, playing tentative at times. I think they got to let it loose a little bit more. I told Dante out there, I believe the right guard at Tennessee had gotten hurt, and their backup had come into the game. I said, listen, you got to take advantage of this guy. We got to work an edge. We got to work him upfield, underneath, whatever. You got to scare him to death if you have to. But let's don't try to react off the play. Let's get the pass rush. You know what they're going to do. It's either draw or drop back. So just get up the field and then react. But we're working on it to improve. Coach Adams is doing everything he can to get those guys better, whether it may be some twist game stuff and in practice to get them to kind of pick and help each other out in a pass rush scheme. But we're doing everything we can.
Sean, South Carolina's beaten the SEC East champion 3 out of the last 4 years. Have a chance to do it 4 out of 5 this year. Does your team take any extra pride in that?
I don't think so. I think they take pride in winning and going out and playing a good football team. Anytime you can measure yourself to a really good tackle you're going up against, or the best defensive end, how are you going to stack up individually? And I think that's the same way our team looks at it. We've got a great opportunity to go out and put a good showing up against a great football team with a heck of a head coach and staff, and just see exactly where we are. And when you look at us the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when you go to Vanderbilt and to A&M and to Tennessee, we've stacked up pretty well. We haven't gotten over the hump, but we're knocking on the door, and somebody's going to answer it shortly. So our team, we feel like we can match up.
And Florida still has a chance to win a national championship this year. There's another team left on your schedule that might have the same thing. The idea of playing spoiler, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think in those teams that say, hey, let's go play spoiler, that's kind of a joke to me. Our goal is to win football games. It doesn't matter what they're ranked or how successful they are. We're to go out and compete, and any man with a competitive spirit wants to go out there and win, and that's the bottom line for us taking to the field. The spoiler hasn't even come up, shouldn't even come up. We don't play that way. If we're able to go out and win, be successful, and do the things necessary, it's because we're prepared to beat the team in front of us, not because they're the number 7th ranked team or the number 1 ranked team.
Both you and Coach McElwain have coaching backgrounds at the FCS level. Of course, he spent about 15 years in the Big Sky Conference. Of course, you coached in the Southern Conference with App State. How did coaching at that level prepare you for being a head coach here at the Power 5 conference level?
At that level, you do everything. You do everything. When I say everything, I was the O-line coach. I was the walk-on coordinator. I ran the summer camps. I was the academic liaison. At times, I was the equipment manager. Sometimes I drove the bus. I mean, you do so much, and so many are dependent upon you. You don't take it for granted. So when you jumped into this situation like I was at the spur of the moment, like I said, I've been planning to do this my entire career. It didn't matter what level I was coaching at. But while I was at Appalachian State, I had all those things. And I always thought it was going to come back and help me, because you can relate to so many people. When you go sit over there across from the dean of students and talk to them about an academic situation or the housing, and talk to them about roommates and pairing them up and how you want to do that in a dorm situation. And you can get housing, academics, athletics, and then you got food services you've got to go deal with, about 2-a-day meals. See, we didn't have all that. When you can coordinate those type of people and put them all together and formulate a great successful plan, then that certainly helps you. And I think it was right on target for me.
Sean, after the third quarter in Knoxville, you mentioned in postgame that y'all didn't make a lot of adjustments, simply that the guys maybe elevated their level of play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to, at least if you could, share maybe what you say to them at halftime. And as a part B, are there guys on the ball club that you lean upon to maybe provide that internal motivation as they get back out on the field?
Well, you go in, you talk about the first half mistakes and what we need to do to correct the mistakes. And then as it lingers on, you get more towards the motivational, and then you bring your team together and you pinpoint what exactly could have been had we had done this. You may point out a defensive scheme or the fourth down play that we didn't throw it to Walton on. You say, look at it, guys. It's 17-3 right here. We've squandered a fourth down opportunity. We've given up 2 easy drives in the first 2 possessions of a game. I said, other than that, this team's just, they're not just overly powering us out there today. I said, if we go and minimize our mistakes and we put forth the best effort that we can, we're going to get ourselves right back in the ball game. And I may have referenced it before. You've got to see the players' eyes. You've got to let them know. When I say you've got to see their eyes, you've got to look them in the eyes. And they've got to believe in what you're telling them. You can't have a guy over in the back corner here thinking about, something else. We're down 17-3. If you engage that football team, and I mean really engage them with your eyes, and you can look at them across the room, and you can feel they believe in what you're saying, then you've got a good chance to go out. And when we gathered them up right before the second half, there wasn't an eye looking down, looking over, tying a shoe. They all were pinpoint right there. I mean, they looked at me straight in the eye, and they believed everything I told them. And then we went out and did it. And that's something you can really tell. You can always look at a football team and see how sincere they are about going and doing the plan that you've created for them.
After you watched Florida on film, how impressed did you come away with the way that Jim McElwain was able to bring his offense on and install it with the available personnel, and then redo it with a second quarterback midway through the year, and also how important are their tight ends to kind of what they try to do?
Coach McElwain's a very successful coach. There's a reason why he was hired at the University of Florida. He's a great offensive mind. Florida's got great athletes. Don't let anyone tell you they don't. I mean, they've got them everywhere, from their wide receivers up front to their O-line. They may not have a ton of offensive linemen at this time, but they've got quality backs, great receivers. Will Greer was the quarterback, came in there, was real successful. And now you got Treon Harris leading the way. Defensively, they've got players. Their tight ends are certainly important. Depending on what their scheme is, whether it's the down blocking, the waggles, the naked bootlegs, putting pressure on maybe an undersized linebacker at times. He's done a magical job. But the one thing he's done is got them believing they can be good, and I think it's through a lot of tough love. And in the same sense, he had to bring them back and tell them it was going to get better. And I won't say they bought in because he didn't have to sell it, but he's a great leader and done a great job for them.
Throughout the season, it seems like this team has played better in the second half. Kind of a weird statistic that you've trailed at halftime of 8 games and been tied at 1. Is there something to that with the first half, and whether it's struggles or not being prepared or focused on the players that you feel you need to correct?
No, they just had some hot starts against us. Saturday was probably, you look at us from a defensive standpoint, we made a safety change right there, and we gave up a big play on a touchdown pass that he should have been right there waiting for. Maybe it was just an instance that he was, I won't say not prepared, but just caught him off guard a little bit. Sometimes they go out there and they try to make too much so early in a football game, and then it doesn't kind of correlate. We've talked about yesterday starting strong. We understand our our ball game this week. We've got to start strong and finish strong as well, and put together consistent 4 quarters. And in doing that, it's got to be from a coaching standpoint, a player standpoint, and from a personnel standpoint, and have the right plays called. But we've addressed it. We're going to try to correct it. We've got this game and 2 others left. I think you'll see a faster starting football team. Anything else for Coach Elliott? Thank you all very much. I would like to say, I believe it was the City of Columbia police officer, Stacy Case, lost her life, and then, the University of South Carolina police officer, Officer Bolin, was injured in that accident. That's a tough situation. Our heart goes out for her family and then for Officer Bolin as well. But we all heard about it. It was a terrible situation, and just let their families know that the University of South Carolina Gamecock football program is thinking about those guys. Thank you all.
It really speaks volumes about our personality. Other than Tom Selleck, I think you got it wrong. We got about another year. Research which movie help. One more player.
Mike, Florida has a really aggressive pass rush. They'll try to come off the edge and shake you guys up. What can you guys do on the line to try to limit that?
Be sound in our protection. We have to be smart assignment-wise, and we got to play as a unit.
Mike, does it seem like you guys have been on the road all year?
Yeah, it's nice to be at home this week. I mean, we're looking forward to it, and I'm sure the fans are looking forward to it. We're looking forward to having that support and having them rally behind us.
Well, how encouraged are you to return home after you played on the road the past 2 games in hostile environments? You came up short, but you were very competitive and gave yourselves a chance to win.
To me, in my opinion, playing on the road, playing at home, it doesn't matter. We got to get the win. I know having a home field advantage helps, but we got to get that win regardless. So to that aspect of it, but we're excited to play at home. We're excited to have the fans cheering behind us. As the defense gets on and gets on for our defense.
To the left, Ben.
Not sure if you guys have dug too deep into the film yet on Florida, but are they a team that blitzes a fair amount, or are they more a group that just lets their front 4 get into you?
We've been watching. They mix it up. They have a good front 4 that gets after it, but they throw in some blitzes too. They have stuff that we need to recognize as an O-line and that we need to pick up on, like I said. But they're very good. They're very athletic. They're very fast, and they play physical.
To the left, David.
Mike, what's it like for you guys on offense when Jonathan Walton walks in as a fullback, and what's that whole dynamic like when a defensive player is suddenly over there playing on your side of the ball?
It's I mean, it's different. He brings a lot of power. You know, he's a great fullback, and as you can see, he's an athletic player. You know, we were excited to see him get a touchdown. You know, we're a team, so it's exciting to have him, you know, being on our side of the ball as well. He gets to see what we go through.
Pete.
Mike, coming close only gets you so much. Is it tough balancing the fact that you guys are feeling better about what the offense is doing with the fact that you've come up short a couple of times in games you had a chance to win?
Of course. I mean, you know, it's tough. It's frustrating, and you know, I think we've realized that we just got to do that much more, you know, or a little bit better just to kind of get that extra edge and get that win. There's just a little bit more stuff that we could do to be better.
Back to Pete.
Mike, is there any sense among the players, too, that, you know, if we win, we're helping Coach Elliott's case for being back with this team long term? Is that a real sense in the locker room?
Absolutely. We love him as a coach. You know, you can ask any player on the team. No one's got a bad thing to say about him. Everyone respects him, and everyone wants him here. Even with me leaving, I hope he stays. I mean, I pull for him a lot. I think he's a great coach.
Rich.
Mike, I know you're obviously from Florida, and there's a bunch of guys on the USC roster who have went to the same high school with a bunch of University of Florida guys. Are there any particular players on the Florida roster that you know personally, or you played in all-star games with and that type of thing?
Not this year. Fred Taylor's from around my area, but not this year.
Back to Ben.
With Jonathan Walton joining you guys on offense, is a little weird to suddenly have this guy who, you know, not that long ago you were probably blocking in practice. All of a sudden, you know, he's throwing blocks behind you.
No, it's not weird. Like I said, I like it. He's a physical player. You know, I enjoy having him in the backfield, and we're a team. So whatever it takes to get the team better is what we'll use and we'll need. But no, I love having him back there. I mean, he's a physical player. Like I said, I mean, he can hit. So as long as he can get his assignments right and he can lay the wood, I mean, he's going to hit somebody.
Anything else for Mike? Thank you, Mike.
Y'all have a good day.
Our final player for this afternoon will be senior Spur T.J. Gurley. So questions for T.J., please raise your hand. Matt.
TJ, there's been a lot made about trying to get off to a better start defensively, but it still hadn't really seemed to happen yet. Just what do you guys have to do to try to make sure that happens this week?
I just think we got to do what Coach been telling us to do, and execute when the plays come our way. Most time we've been missing interception and missing tackles, which keep the offense on the field. We just got to make our plays early.
It's been a weird year, obviously, with so many road games. For y'all, how much does it help you, or how excited really are you just to be back at Williams-Brice for these next 3 games?
I'm saying it's real exciting. Coach Hope was speaking that we need to win that last road game, and we ain't win. But everybody been keeping good spirits. We ain't had practice yesterday, and everybody was hyped up and happy. But everybody been keeping good spirits. We just ready to go out there and play Florida.
David.
What do you think about the fact that 2 of your last 3 opponents are ranked 11 and 1 in America? I mean, is that intimidating? Do you like that? I mean, how do you feel about it?
We like that. That means that we could hurt their season, and that's what we want to do. We want to go out there and hurt their record, and so we like that. We like that other teams are being hyped up and got good records and stuff. So we need to go out there and play hard and try to hurt their season.
David?
And how is everybody on defense reacting to Jonathan Walton's new role as sort of a ball carrier and touchdown pass catcher now? I mean, are you guys hoping to do the same thing eventually, or how do y'all react to that?
I'm saying we like him back there in the backfield because he run hard. And in high school, we saw his highlights, and he was just running over people and shaking people. So we like that he back there. And like most defensive players at practice, they get nervous. Like Jonathan Walton get the ball, they get scared a little bit. Like I ain't trying to mess with him. But we like that when he back there.
Do y'all want? Are there other guys who want to play offense if they get the chance?
One time, Coach Spurrier had asked the defensive coach, can Chris Lehman come to offense? But that's about it.
Is it like just you guys aren't ready to play? You said you guys are not making some plays early on. Do you feel like you're not ready to play, or is it just for some reason it's just not happening?
I'm saying that's something that we got to handle. Like as players, you got to be able to make your plays. When coach puts you in position, you got to be able to make the tackle or catch the interception or bat down the ball, and we just not been doing it early. So that's on us. That's not none of the coaches. That's us as players. We got to do.
But is there anything you can point to as to why, or it just seems like it's just random maybe?
Nah, it ain't nothing we could point to. That's just like we just got to get the job done. That's us as players. Nothing about the coaches doing. That's us. We got to get it done. So we can't blame nobody else but ourselves for starting off bad.
Ben?
It seemed like Tennessee on 3rd down was taking a lot of advantage of the middle of the field. Did you guys, after watching film, diagnose what kind of the problems were, handing guys off in zone coverage, responsibilities, that kind of thing?
Yeah, on 3rd down, coach preached a rush from the defensive line, and I think like the field was real wet, so they couldn't get their feet in the ground and cut on the linemen and stuff. So like Dobbs had a lot of time, and in the middle of the field was opening up a little bit, and some of it was on the secondary because we wasn't reroute and getting the right receivers off the path. So that was us as a defense, rush and cover. We weren't getting the job done, so he was able to sit back and throw.
You said you guys are kind of looking forward to the opportunity to maybe mess up somebody's season. Does the way you've played the last couple of weeks give you some confidence that you can go out and compete against 2 of the teams that are ranked kind of pretty high in the country?
I'm saying, yes, sir. We've been having a good game, but we just ain't putting it all together. Like the first 2 drives were real bad drives for us in Tennessee. Then after that, we started getting it together. And so you take away those first 2 drives, maybe we could have won the game, or like blew them out or something like that. But we ready for Florida. We glad they getting hyped up and they got a good record, so they could come in here happy like they gonna beat us, and we just gonna play hard and shock them.
When and where did you watch video of Jonathan Walton playing running back in high school?
On his high school highlight tape, yeah, he running over people, and knocking people helmets off and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And he a force to be reckoned with at running back. I think if they give him the ball, he run tough and it's hard to tackle him.
Did you do it last week?
What'd it say?
When did you watch it though? Last week?
Nah, I watched it like probably last year or something. I ain't watched his highlight in a while, but I watched it like last year, and he was like running over people and stuff like that. Then they gave him the ball last week at practice, and Chris Lehman, coach, was like, "Oh, you don't want none of that," you know, like he moved out the way, like, "No, don't mess with Johnson."
Anything else for TJ? Thank you, TJ. That's a wrap.